Hey y'all, it's your girl Kwa. Welcome to my channel if you're new. I did this video like 2 times and I don't want to do it over again, but I'm gonna try to make this video fast because the sun is going down and I usually use the natural light for to make my videos, but I got something I want to talk about today. Something that everybody needs to know about, that need to be aware of in their day-to-day life, something that I have experienced and that I have observed, something that the Lord has brought to my attention, that he put in my spirit to talk about to y'all today. But before we get to the video, I just want to say hi. How y'all doing today? I'm gonna try to get through this video as fast as I can, but today in this video I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be transparent, because I'm human just like y'all. I'm not perfect. I go through experience day to day. I learn stuff every day. I learn from my mistakes every day, and I just keep going with the Lord. So I want to talk about same spirit but different bodies. And what I mean by that is different people who come in and out of your life, but they're operating with the same spirit. And what I mean by the same spirit, familiar spirit, or you could say monitoring spirit. I feel like in my case, it felt more of a familiar spirit than a monitoring spirit. It could have been a monitoring spirit, but it felt more of a familiar spirit. So I got my water. Please forgive me if I keep saying stuff like so and so, stuff like that. Just forgive me, because I want to get this out. But before we get to this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, so last year, October 2024, when I first moved into this apartment, I was using Snapchat. Everybody know what Snapchat is. Around that time, the Lord was speaking to me about deleting Snapchat off of my phone, because I felt like Snapchat did not serve a purpose in my life anymore. Like I used Snapchat when I was like my teenage years, probably from the age of 15 to probably 24, 25. Like when I hit like 24, I kind of like slowed down on using it, but I still had it on my phone, right? But before I took it off my phone, I met a gentleman. I met a guy on Snapchat. Didn't even know that he existed, but I always had like a lot of like friend requests on Snapchat. Like people will always like, add me on Snapchat. And he was just one of them. So I was the kind of person where, okay, if you add me, then okay, it's no problem. I'm not like that. Like if you add me, you add me. I don't be asking like, who are you? What do you want? Like, because I know people do that, but I don't do that. It's not that big of a deal to me. It's not that deep. It's just an app. So I remember one day last year, this is around October, before I deleted the app, I had put on my status, not on my status, I put on my post, I was talking about like how people always take advantage of kind, sweet-hearted people, like genuine people, like people always take advantage of those kind of people. And I was talking about me. So he saw my post, and he reached out to me, and he was talking to me about the same similar situations that he'd been through, and I guess he felt a connection with me through my post, right? So fast forward, I think a week after that, he asked for my number. And I gave it to him, right? So by that week, I had already was like, okay, Lord, you telling me to delete this app? I'm going to delete it. And I deleted it. So that's how me and him was still in contact, because I had gave him my number. He asked for my number. I gave it to him, right? So yeah, I know how I'm still saying so. Y'all have to forgive me for that. But so yeah, so during that week of me talking to him on my phone, it was only a week, y'all. We was having like good conversation. We was talking. I was telling him like, I just moved to Houston. And you know, I'm from Miami. I was telling him, like, you know, I just moved to Houston. I'm from Miami. He was like, oh, he's from Miami. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. He was like, he's still down there. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, that's what's up. I just left from there. So we talking. And I remember sometime through that week, I checked on him. I had texted him. And I was like, hey, how you doing? And everything. And I think I would never forget that day I was going to work. Because I remember I used to work overnight. So I was going to work and I texted him to see how he was doing before I started work. Now, I'm the type of person where if you say that you're my friend or you claim that you like me, okay, I'm going to try my best to be consistent with you. I'm just that type of person, okay? That's just my personality type. So when I text him, he left me on red. He left me on red. And I did not appreciate that because I'm taking the time out of my day before I go to work to see how you doing, because we haven't really spoke that day like that. And he left me on red the whole time, y'all. He left me on red the whole time. So I was like, okay. So when I got off of work that morning, he reached out to me, and you could kind of tell, like, he didn't even want to acknowledge the fact that he left me on red. So when he reached out to me, I was like, hey, you know, I text you, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And when how do I say it? When I was honest about him, about how I felt and how I didn't like that, when I tell you this guy flew off the handle, he went crazy. He was like, oh, you think everything revolves around you? It's not always about you. And I'm like, hold up. So you're upset because I'm being honest about you about something I don't appreciate. That's for anybody. If you're in the middle of a conversation or you reach out to somebody and they leave you on red, how would that make you feel? And this is somebody who claiming that they like you. This is somebody who asks you for your number. This is the same person that says, like, oh, I want to be your friend. I want to get to know you. And around that time, you know, I didn't really have any friends. I didn't know nobody in Texas like that. I didn't. So I was like, okay, it's nothing wrong with me having a friend guy. It's nothing wrong with that. He's in Miami. I'm in Texas. Like, what could be so wrong with that, right? That's how I'm thinking. So during that time, the Lord was really working on me, like with my mouth. Because back then, I will always, like, if I had something to say, I'm going to say it. I don't care how bad it hurt you. I don't care how it offended you. I'm going to get what I want to say off my chest. But during that time, I was really walking with the Lord, and God was really changing me. So whenever I would talk to him, I was very respectful. I just told him how I felt, like, hey, you know, I don't appreciate you leaving me on red. I understand that you're busy. You got other things going on. But you could have said, like, hey, you know, I'm busy right now. Let's talk later. I would have appreciated that, right? Anybody would respect that. And it's like he couldn't understand that. So he going back and forth with me. He telling me, like, oh, you think it's about you? You think you all that? Blase, like all of this stuff. And it's like he's just like diminishing my character, all because I spoke up about the truth. So I said, you know what, sweetie? Have a blessed one. Have a good one. Take care. I blocked his number. After that, I blocked his number. So mind you, this is October. So I think it was 5 months we have not spoken. And during that time of us not speaking, I had went through my catalog for the block list. Everybody who got iPhone, you know what I'm talking about, is that block list. The Lord told me, I will never forget, he was just like, unblock everybody. You don't have to operate the way that you used to before, because I'm changing you. You don't have to block everybody. If y'all don't get along, if y'all don't talk, that's okay. And I remember I used to try to block people to hurt people. I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm human. I used to block people to get at them, to make them mad, because I know people don't like being blocked. And that was my way of, like, trying to get back at you. So I said, okay, Lord. So during that time when me and the guy wasn't talking, I had unblocked everybody. And I just wanted to start over. And I had told myself, I said, if me and a person, man or female, if we don't get along and we fall out or whatever the case may be, or the Lord tell me to let them go, I'm not going to block nobody. I'm just going to let it be. In Jesus' name, I'm going to let it be and keep going my life. So fast forward, between October to January, I totally forgot about this dude. I totally forgot about this guy. And, you know, life is life and life is going on. I've been in my relationship with Christ. I'm loving myself, self-care. I'm here. Like, I'm doing me. And I forgot about him. So fast forward, January 2025 of this year, this guy reached out to me. And when he reached out to me, I didn't even know who it was, because it was a 786 number. A 786 number is a Miami number. It's a Florida number. I didn't know who it was. So when he texted me, I was like, who is this? And he was like, you don't know who this is? And I'm like, no. I was like, no, I don't know who this is. And he was like, this is such and such. And I was like, oh. So when he texted me, I was very dry. I was very dry because I just felt like if a person can do you like that and they can go months without talking to you, or they just hit you up out of nowhere, out of the woodworks, it's like, how do you expect me to be? If that makes sense. So I was like, okay, you know, I had asked him some questions. I was like, you know, but why now? Why did you reach out to me now? We had the whole year. I haven't talked to you since October. The whole year went by, and now we in the new year. He was like, oh, you know, I really didn't like how the situation played out. I just want to come back and fix it and make it work, and maybe we can start over. So I always kept it in my mind how he is, how he was. And I always tell people, when a person show you who they are the first time, you have to believe them in Jesus' name. You have to believe them. So, but I always been the type of person where I always give each and every person that comes into my life the benefit of the doubt. So if you hurted me the first time or you offended me, okay, I let it go. I move on and I give you another chance, right? To redeem yourself, to show me who you are. But I always make sure I pray to God to show me who a person is, right? So I was like, well, I had told him, I said, well, it's pointless. I understand that you're trying to come back and you're trying to make it work and you're trying to be friends. But you're down there and I'm in Texas. I really just genuinely, I told him, like, I really just moved on. Like, I just don't want to keep going back to people that's in the past. I have to move forward. I'm not really looking to reconnect. Because if we stop talking the way that we did, you know, how do you say it? First impression is everything. I only known you for like a week or two. And for you to, you know, treat me the way that you did, I just don't want to deal with that. He was like, I know, I understand, but I really want to make it work. I see that you're a great woman. You're a God-fearing woman. You're an amazing girl. And I'm just like, okay, yes, I know that. I know that. Thank you. But I don't know. So after that, I stopped talking to him. And he kept, like, y'all, when I tell you, this is not me bragging. This is not that. But he kept, like, reaching out for like a whole probably 2 weeks straight for no reason, and I would just ignore the text messages. He would even call, like, at times through those 2 weeks of him trying to come back into my life, and I was just very like, no, I'm good. So then at one point he stopped, right? He stopped reaching out, and then he came back again. So I said, okay, let me see what this guy really want. What do he really want? So we ended up talking again. We got on FaceTime. Because the first time we met, we didn't FaceTime. We were just like talking through text message, and we talked on the phone. So we FaceTime, y'all. And when I tell you, the first 10 minutes of our conversation, I was like, can I be honest with you? I'm not trying to compare you to nobody, but you remind me of my ex in Georgia. So when I was living in Orlando, Florida, I met this guy on Snapchat. I met my ex on Snapchat. He reached out to me the same way this same dude reached out to me through Snapchat. And me and the guy that's in Georgia, he's not from Georgia. He's from Miami, Florida as well. But he moved to Georgia to be with his mother. And I was in that time of my life, I was really like heartbroken by some other situation. You know, I was trying to heal. And that guy that I met on Snapchat, he was going through trauma just like me. So it was like we was trauma bonding. At the time, I didn't know. But we really hit it off. Like, we had a connection because it's like, it was a mutual understanding, a mutual feeling. Like, okay, you like me, I like you. So let's just see where this goes. Despite that, it's a long distance. Like, I'm in Florida and you in Georgia. And me and this guy was talking like every other day. We was always FaceTiming every day or every other day. So when I told him about that, I was just like, you remind me of him. And I don't really know if I want to, if I want to repeat that cycle. And he was like, yeah, I understand, stuff like that. He understands stuff like that. But he still wanted to talk to me as in a friend way. But then it's like he's telling me that he liked me. And don't get me wrong, I was really attracted to this guy, but I was not attracted to the inside of him, because once a person showed me who they are the first time, I kind of don't want to be connected with you like that, or I don't want to be close to you like that, because I have to protect my spirit and my energy, right? So how do I say it? So when I told him that, we were still talking on FaceTime that day, and he was like, I understand, I just want to be a friend, I want to make it right, I want to be there. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna try one more time, we're gonna be friends one more time, y'all. So a week, y'all, when I tell you, we didn't even last a week. We didn't last a week, y'all. When he came back the second time, we did not last a week. And in that time that the Lord was telling me, like, you know how this guy is. I gave you the spirit of discernment. Don't try to overlook nothing. So I'm just like, because I'm trying to play it out. So the second day come by, he texts me good morning. I text him back good morning, and I told him, like, hey, I'm gonna be a little busy today, but we can always talk later. We can talk later. And he's like, okay, I understand, because I'm gonna be busy as well. So later that day, around the evening time, I texted him. I was like, hey, how you doing? You okay? He read my message. So 10 minutes come by, he read my message, and I said, okay, Kwa, don't say nothing. Just let it play out. If he leave you on red by the end of the night, then that's when, okay, So, y'all, the end of the night come. I didn't say nothing. He left me on red. The next day rolled by. I said, no, I have to say something. Ladies and gentlemen, learn from my mistake. Learn from me, because I'm still learning. You don't have to write a paragraph to nobody. Okay? When a person show you who they are the first time, just let them be. Don't be writing no paragraph, because they not retarded, they not stupid, they know what they doing. They know what they doing to you. And that's where I messed up at. I wrote him a paragraph telling him, like, hey, I don't like this. I don't appreciate this. I'm going out of my way to text you to see how you doing, and you just leaving me on red. That, nobody likes that. Anybody will feel some type of way about that. So when he finally responded back to me, he was just like, oh, you think everything is about you? You're so entitled. I'm not gonna talk to you every effing day. And I said, hold up. I said, first of all, it was never about you talking to me every day. I had told him, like, I know that everybody have their own life. Everybody got their own stuff going on. I do not expect nobody to talk to me every day. I just don't, because I'm not going to talk to somebody every day. So he tried to make it seem like, oh, the reason why I'm mad is because he's not talking to me every second or every day. No, I said the reason why I feel some type of way is because I keep reaching out to you, or I'm going out of my way to say something to you the next day and you leaving me on red. So I asked him, I said, do you have something else going on that you haven't told me about? He was like, no, I told you that I'm single, blase, blase. And I said, but the way that you're acting right now just doesn't feel that way. And I don't like when people try to be my friend, or they tell me that they like me and all that stuff like that, and then they got somebody else on the side, or they're dealing with somebody. They got a whole situation that I don't know nothing about. I don't like stuff like that. Don't bring that drama into my life, right? So, y'all, I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because he just did not want to take accountability. And I was just like, you doing the same thing I told you about the first time when we was getting to know each other. And you're doing it again. He don't want to take accountability. He did not want to take accountability. I had to change the setting because it was getting dark. But yeah, like I was saying, so I was saying, like, when I was telling him like how I felt, it's like he didn't even want to take accountability. He did not want to, he did not want to acknowledge nothing that I was saying, right? So it kind of just gave me like manipulator vibes, like gaslighting. Like he was just gaslighting me and like trying to like low-key belittle me and try to make it seem like, oh, I'm the problem. Like, and I noticed with him, he did not like me speaking up the truth. He did not want me speaking up about nothing. He did not like when I saw something about him and saying something to him about it. He didn't like it. Of that time frame of me knowing him, right? So I said, you know what? Just forget it. Just forget it, right? And this brings me back to where I was saying familiar spirit. Because when I was dating a guy in Georgia, he was always manipulating me. Not like in a bad way to hurt me, but it was just like he was always trying to get me to feel bad for his actions and not like be mad or say anything. And I felt like this is what the guy is doing now, right? So fast forward to what I was saying. So I didn't say nothing back. When he said what he said, I didn't say nothing back. I just let it be, right? So a week passed, y'all. A week passed by, and during this time I'm in school. So this is all happening during the time that I'm starting school. I'm in school. And he reached out to me yesterday morning. He's blowing up my phone from a number that's a 754 number. And mind you, this is 7-8 in the morning. I'm still sleeping. And I look at the phone. And I'm too tired to answer. So, you know, I don't know. They just gonna have to wait till when I wake up, I'll call them back. But he kept blowing up my phone. So then he called me from his number, a 786 number. So I was like, I didn't answer it. So I guess when he saw that I wasn't answering his number, he called me back from that number. So I said, okay, let me answer it and see what is going on. So I answered. I said, hello, who is this? He was like, oh, you don't know who this is? I'm like, here we go again. And this is why I say I felt like monitoring spirit. It felt like it was a monitoring spirit with a familiar spirit, because this guy was just popping up out of nowhere. Like, a person shouldn't have to keep telling you, like, I'm good. Like, you move on with your life, I move on with my life. Like, it's no beef, it's no love lost. Like, I wish you the best, but we are not. And that's another thing. I had told him, like, look, you on your path, I'm on my path. But I really strongly feel like we are not equally yoked. And that's okay. That's okay. Because I had already told him, like, look, you want to be my friend. You say you like me. I like you, but I'm not looking for a relationship. Plus, I told him I'm not doing no long-term relationship. I just want a friend, somebody I can have conversation with and talk about life and talk about God with. That's another thing too I want to talk about. Every time me and this dude got into it, he always bringing up God. He was always bringing up Jesus, right? And another thing I want to say is that when the enemy study us. He study all humans. He study your life. He study what you like, what you don't like, everything about you. He study you, right? So when the enemy sees that you are on fire for Christ, when you love God with your whole heart, when you include God in everything, when you're praising God, when you're reading your word, when you're all for God, the enemy is going to try to bring somebody in your life who portrays that they know God, or they have like a relationship with God, but they really don't. The enemy is just using them in that way to get you in. And I saw that. And this is why I said we must pray for this discernment, because we need it. People will come in your life to deceive you and to destroy you, and that's what the enemy wants. And I felt like the enemy was using that guy to destroy me, to hurt me. Because it's like he can't get me no other way. How can you get me? Like, I'm not doing nothing that I'm not supposed to be doing. So what I was saying, so mind you, me and this guy is on the phone. It's 7, 8 in the morning. Me and this guy is on the phone going back and forth. And I'm just telling him, like, why do you keep coming back? Like, if the friendship don't work, it's okay. He was like, no, I really like you. I want to make it work. I want to make it right. We can help each other heal. Huh? He said, we can help each other get better. I said, oh, no. I told him I'm not trauma bonding with nobody. I'm not trauma dumping with nobody, because those days are over. I told him the Lord is healing me, and he is healing me in the process. I'm getting over certain things from the past. So what I look like trauma, and that's why I say familiar spirit. I felt like this spirit wants me to be stuck in trauma. This spirit wants me to bond with people that's in trauma. No, the devil is a liar. No. So I'm just listening to this. Right? But here I am again. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. And I said, okay, if we're gonna be friends, we're gonna strictly keep it as friends. I don't want nothing romantic. I don't want no extra stuff. Let's just be friends. Whenever we talk, because I don't want no expectations, right? I don't want no high expectations. He was like, no, why you gotta be that way? I really like you. I said, no, because clearly it's like for some reason, it's like you telling me you like me and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, he is attractive. But like I said, I was not attracted to the inside of him, because it's like he was already showing me what kind of person he was, right? But he just reminded me of my ex, like the features, the situation just felt familiar. So he was like, okay, we could just be friends, right? So during that time, that same day, so before we got on FaceTime again yesterday, when we was going back and forth, he sent me a voice message off that 786 number, and I didn't listen to it at the time. I didn't listen to it until later last night. I was listening to it. And as I'm listening to this, I'm like, y'all, he's telling me, oh, what is your problem? You think everything is about you. Everything don't revolve around you. I'm not going to talk to you every effing day. And I'm just like, didn't I tell this guy that it's not about you talking to me every day? It's about you leaving somebody on red. That's disrespectful. That's rude. How you claim that you want to be somebody's friend, but you can't even communicate? No, I'm telling you, a mature person don't like stuff like that. I'm just too mature. And this is why I don't have friends. Because I don't like ignorant stuff. I don't like people that don't know how to take accountability. I don't like people that try to manipulate. Like, he was literally trying to manipulate me. And I guess he thought, like, I wasn't going to say nothing. But I feel like he didn't really like me like that because I kept speaking up. And that's what manipulators do. They don't like when you speak up. They don't like when you speak the truth. He did not like it. So later that day, I forgot what happened. Okay, so yeah. So later that night, after all of that stuff happened, we so-called back friends again, right? But then the Lord was like, go back into that message and listen to the voice message. And when I listened to it, I was like, okay, so this is how you feel about me. His heart showed me how he felt about me. And mind you, I don't even know this. I have not really fully, I have not really fully made a real connection with this guy, because every time I tried to, it was just weird. It just didn't make sense to me, right? And every time I would try to move on, he will always try to come back. So that's how it let me know, like, this, that's how I knew, like, this was something spiritual. This was something that if I did not pay attention to, it was going to happen over and over again with different people. And this is why you have to be careful. Learn from my experience, because people don't know this stuff. So this morning he texted me. He was like, "Are you okay?" I said yes. And I also told him, I said, "But I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed in the voice message that you left me yesterday." And he was like, "Why are you disappointed for? This already happened and we already made up." I said, "What you mean this already happened? This literally happened yesterday. And I'm just now hearing it last night." So I had told him, I was like, "Look, please don't, that's it. That's it. I'm good. Like, I don't even want to be friends. I don't want nothing. Just move on with your life. And I will move on with my life, because I just feel like this just felt very demonic to me for some reason. A friendship should not be this hard. And I think that's why a lot of people just don't like me, because I'm very strong-minded. I do not allow people to do what they want to me, and not let people, and me not saying anything. I used to be like that when I was like younger. I used to let people run over me, take advantage of me, say what they want to say to me. But now I'm like, no, because Christ gave us the authority to speak up, to speak back for the truth, for justice. So that's when I knew that guy was operating in some type of spirit. And I felt like I said, the enemy was using him to hurt me mentally, emotionally. So during that time, I kept praying for him. And I was just like, God, I don't know what it is. I don't know what he's looking for. I don't know what he wants. But God, please, I pray that you reveal yourself to him, because he needs to heal from something. And he kept telling me that I'm hurt and all this stuff. But you saying that I'm hurt because I'm speaking up the truth? Because I'm telling you that, no, this is wrong. Don't do this. This is not right. How would you like if somebody did it to you? So he texted me back and he was like, "You know what? Fine. You just a headache. You always got a problem about this and that." And I said, okay. Because I don't have the time to be arguing with nobody. And another thing, this is how I knew that he was sent from the enemy as well. Before this happened, yesterday he texted me. Because he kept going back and forth with me. And I was trying to like end the conversation respectfully. And I was like, "Okay, sweetie, you have a blessed one and take care." Do you know this guy told me you're not blessed? It's something else he was saying. But when he said that you're not blessed, that was nothing but the enemy. And mind you, this is the same person that talk about God this and God that and Jesus this and Jesus that. That's basically you telling me that God don't love me. That's what I took it as. Like, God don't love me. I feel like everybody is blessed. Whether you believe in Jesus or not, you're still blessed. Like, God still love you. You're blessed by having a roof over your head. You're blessed by having fresh, clean water. You're blessed by God putting clothes on your back. You're blessed by having a job. You're blessed by having funds in your bank account. You're blessed by being able to wake up every day and see a new day. You're blessed to be able to just live. That's what blessed means. So when he said that to me in a text message, I was like, the hate is, he had hate in his heart. He had bitterness in his heart because I would not allow him to do what he want to do to me emotionally and mentally. And that's not of God, people. That's not of God. When a person come into your life and you try to stand up for justice and what's right and they don't like it, that's not of God. And it's another way, it's also how you do things as well as how you say things. Because you can stand up for justice and stuff like that and stand up for, the right things. But if you're doing it the wrong way, okay, that's different. But it's how you do things, it's how you say things, right? And I was always respectful. So I just couldn't understand, like, how can somebody have so much hate for me and you barely don't even know me? That's what it felt like. It felt like some type of hate, some type of secret animosity, but you sitting there saying like you like me and you want to get to know me and you see that I'm a God-fearing woman and I'm strong and all this stuff like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, be careful. Because this experience taught me that I never could say it right. Monitoring spirits and familiar spirits are a real thing. And I have always heard about it, but I just did not know how deep it went. I didn't know. I didn't know how they operate. I did not know how these spirits operate. I didn't know like what category they fell under. I didn't know. So the monitoring spirit is a person. It's a spirit that's in a person. They use a particular person for their agenda, whatever it is, for your life, to be nosy, to keep up with what you got going on. Familiar spirit is a spirit that's attached to somebody that, how do you say it? How do I say it? That is like, you already went through this experience before, but then you going through it again with somebody else. That is what a familiar spirit is. And they got their agenda too for your life. But if you don't pray for discernment, you won't catch it. You're not going to always catch it. Because you can meet somebody and you can be like, oh my God, this person feels so good. Man or woman. This person feels so familiar, so good. But it doesn't mean it's always good. And this is why I think that I'm always alone, because when you really come into Christ, you start to understand that everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. And what I just explained to y'all about this gentleman, he was not sent from God. He was sent from the enemy, monitoring spirits, familiar spirits, to attack me. And this is why I thank God that I have always prayed for discernment. And I just asked the Lord, I said, God, I don't know what he wants. I don't know what he's looking for, but Jesus, heal him in Jesus' name. Heal this young man. Because it's like he was trying to trauma bond with me. And I'm not at that point no more. Like, I feel like I moved on from that. God has healed me from that. Yes, I'm not saying like God isn't still healing certain parts of me, but like I'm not about to be going through the same cycle over and over again with a different person, but same spirit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not doing it. So, yeah, the Lord was just like, you got to talk about this, because a lot of people just don't. You have to pay attention to this. And you see why people keep going through the same cycles over and over again with different bodies but same spirits, and then you wonder why you keep getting these same resorts with these different people, because some of these people that come into your life is not even sent from God. It's sent from God when y'all are equally yoked, man or female. I'm not just saying relationships, but a friendship, when it just feels right, it just feels like peace. It feels like it's sent from God. Like when y'all are aligned together, when y'all are aligning, when y'all believe in the same Jesus, the same God, when y'all are believers together, that's how you know a person that's sent from the enemy will try to destroy you mentally, emotionally. They will try to destroy you, bring you down. Pretty much. And then it would, and y'all know, Jesus, God is not the author of confusion. So when I was dealing with this guy, it just felt like confusion. It just felt like, what do you want? What are you looking for? Because I am here in Texas. I am living my peaceful life, stress-free life. Like, what do you want? And it's just like he just wanted to be a part of my world for no reason. For no reason. For no reason. Right? So, my brothers and sisters in Christ, just be careful. Like I said, please be careful. This was an eye awakener. I had to go through this. I had to experience it. And I'm so glad I did. And it's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to love yourself. Because when you go through things, I'm telling you, that the Lord has brought you out of, from people, situations, I'm telling you, you're not going to want to go back. And I'm one of them. I'm not going back to no monitoring spirits. I'm not going back to trauma bond with nobody's son or daughter. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. You have to pray against those spirits. Pray against them. And I am too as well. So, I just want to say thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And please, y'all, don't judge me. I'm not perfect. I go through things just like everybody else that click on this video that's supporting my channel. I'm just a girl with discernment, and a girl that have respect for myself, and I hold myself to high standards just like Jesus holds me to high standards. I want the best for myself just like Jesus want the best for me, just like he want the best for you. You don't have to dim your light for nobody. Don't dim your light for nobody. Don't step out of yourself for nobody to please somebody. No, because God don't like stuff like that. Be who you are. Be set apart. Be different. If a person want to stop talking to you because you're standing up for the truth, for justice, it don't matter what it is. Let it be, because clearly that person not even for you. Especially if they're coming in your life to bring confusion, disruption. That's not from God. That's from the enemy to bring chaos in your life. So yeah, y'all, I love y'all. Thank you, like I said, for clicking on this video, and I will see y'all in my next video.